General knowledge, questions and answers on Indian history, world history, science and facts. Describe briefly the administration of Vijayanagara rulers. The Vijayanagara rulers paid great attention to the welfare of people. Most of the land revenue and other taxes were used for public welfare. The king was the highest court of appeal. The criminals were severely punished. Name the scientist who introduced pH. Sorensen. Sorensen was a Danish chemist famous for the introduction of the concept of pH, a scale for measuring acidity and alkalinity. Sorensen's scale assigns a pH of 1 to 14, with 1 being the most acidic, 14 being the most basic, and 7 being neutral, neither acidic or basic. What will be the color of the pH paper if the pH value is 7? The color of pH paper when pH value is 7 will be green. What are strong acids? The answer is those acids which release a large number of H plus ions are called strong acids. Indicator low pH color transition pH range given methyl red, bromothiamyl blue, red, yellow 4.8 to 6.0, and yellow is 6.0 to 7.6. Thymol blue, yellow 8.0 to 9.6. Phenolphthalein colorless 8.3 to 10.0. What are the chief characteristics of Gol Gumbaz of Bijapur? The Gol Gumbaz at Bijapur is the tomb of Muhammad Adil Shah. It is an architectural wonder. Percy Brown rightly said, it is one of the largest and most remarkable single Muslim building in India. The chief features of Gol Gumbaz are it is a dome which has an external diameter of 43.2 meters, is the largest dome in the world. A combination of interesting arches have been used to support this dome. At the base of the dome, a bold foliation has been beautifully designed so as to conceal the joints. There are 4 towers, each having 7 stories, with a small dome at the top. Its whispering galleries give rise to multiple echoes. This building is one of the most splendid monuments of the Bahmani Sultans. Briefly describe Hampi, the capital city of Vijayanagara dynasty. Vijayanagar, the capital city, was a splendid city. The city was surrounded by 7 walls and its streets were well laid out. The city had beautiful gardens, lakes, mansions, and temples. Flowers grew in abundance there. People were rich. They wore diamonds, rubies, pearls, and emeralds, which were sold openly in crowded bazaars. Give a brief life sketch of Christ. Jesus Christ or Christ, the founder of Christianity, was born in Bethlehem near Jerusalem around 6th BC. His mother's name was Mary. He spent some years of his early life as a carpenter in Nazareth near Bethlehem. Later, he started preaching his gospel among the people in a way which common man could easily understand. He was considered as a Messiah by the Jews, who were at the time being severely treated by the Roman emperors. His teachings that all are brothers and sons of the same loving Father were opposed by Orthodox Jews. As a result, the Roman governor of Palestine, Pontius Pilate, sentenced him to death on the cross on Friday in AD 27th at the age of 33. What is the importance of St. Peter's Church in Rome? St. Peter's Church in Rome is the religious headquarters of the Christian world. The bishop of St. Peter's Church, the Pope, became the spiritual head of Christians all over the world and was acknowledged as the representative of Christ on earth. Discuss the reasons and events leading to the crucifixion of Jesus. Jesus attracted large crowds wherever he went through his intelligence, wisdom, compassion, and simplicity. This greatly enraged the Jewish religion leaders who felt threatened by his growing popularity. They convinced the Roman governor Pontius Pilate that Jesus was also a threat to the political authority of the Romans, due to which Jesus was put on trial and was later on crucified. Briefly discuss the causes of the decline of the mighty Roman Empire. The barbarian invasions penetrated deep into the Roman territory and plundered and ravaged it. Even the magnificent city of Rome was not spared. These tribes gradually settled down and assumed control of the western part of the Roman Empire, which led to its decline. What are the Makkah and Medina? Makkah was the town in Arabia where Prophet Muhammad was born. It is a holy place for Muslims. Prophet Muhammad was born at Makkah in AD 570. Medina was the town to which Prophet Muhammad and his followers shifted in 622 century, and Hijrat marks the departure of Prophet Muhammad from Makkah to Medina in 622 century. The two holy places of the Muslims are Makkah and Medina. Who was Al-Biruni in Indian history? Al-Biruni was a Muslim scholar who came to India with Muhammad of Ghazni. His book is a rich source of information about Indian culture, philosophy, and scientific achievements of that period. Who laid the foundation of Turkish rule in India? Muhammad Ghori. Muiz ad-Din Muhammad Ghori, born Shihab-ad-Din, also known as Muhammad of Ghor, was the Sultan of the Ghurid Empire along with his brother Ghiyath ad-Din Muhammad from 1173 to 1202 AD, and as the sole ruler from 1202 to 1206. Mention one important reason for the decline of the Buddhism in India after the Turkish invasion. Buddhist monasteries and libraries were wantonly destroyed by the Muhammad bin Bakhtiar Khilji. This invasion dealt a death blow to Buddhism in India. Discuss the important developments that took place during the reign of Rajia Sultana. The provincial governors rose in revolt against her. Rajia tried to crush the revolt but was defeated and imprisoned. She won over the leader of the rebels, Altonia, by marrying him. Their attempt to recover the throne of Delhi ended in failure and both were killed in 1240 AD. Why did Muhammad Ghori invade India? At the end of the 12th century, a new kingdom based on Ghor arose in northwestern Afghanistan near Ghazni. The founder was Ghiyasuddin Ghori. His famous brother Muizuddin Muhammad is commonly referred to as Muhammad Ghori, decided to conquer India and enrich his kingdom with India's wealth. He first brought the frontier areas of Multan, Sindh, and Punjab under his control. Write a short note on the Bible. The holy book of Christianity is the Bible, which means the book. The Bible has two parts: the Old Testament, which contains the history of the Jews, and the New Testament, which contains the biography and the teaching of Christ and narrated by his disciples. It was originally written in Hebrew, the language of the Jews, and later translated into Greek. Examine the role of Constantine in the establishment of Christianity in Europe. Constantine, the Roman emperor, defeated all his rivals who came in the way of spreading Christianity and declared himself as the undisputed emperor. He made Christianity a legal religion, and in this way, persecution of Christians came to an end. Later on, Christianity became the official religion of the Roman Empire. What were the Crusades? Crusades were the holy wars waged by the Christians against the Turks, who had captured the lands of the Christian emperor of Constantinople and Jerusalem, the holy land of the Christians. Name one internationally renowned university that evolved from a Christian monastery. The university that evolved from a Christian monastery of Oxford in England is known as Oxford University in the English speaking world. Oxford is a unique and historic but teaching existed at Oxford in some form in 1096 AD and developed rapidly from, and in 1231 the masters were recognized as a universitas or corporation. What is the significance of the Battle of Talikota in Indian medieval history? In the Battle of Talikota, the five kingdoms of Bijapur, Ahmednagar, Berar, Golconda, and Bidar formed an alliance against Vijayanagara kingdom and gave it a crushing defeat. Due to this battle, the Hindu Empire in the south was totally finished. When was the first Arab expedition to India? The first Arab expedition to India took place in 12th century under the leadership of Muhammad bin Qasim. The occupation of Sindh ended with the death of Muhammad bin Qasim. Why was the House of Wisdom established? The House of Wisdom was set up in Baghdad as it was advised by Prophet Muhammad to pursue learning among Arabs. So Baghdad became the place of wisdom where various ancient civilizations such as Greek, Byzantine, Egyptian, Chinese, Indian and Persian were translated into Arabic. Which Arab city became the preserve of the rich cultural heritage of the ancient world? Baghdad became the repository and preserve of the rich cultural heritage of the ancient world. The city was founded in 762 AD as the capital of the Abbasid dynasty of the caliphs, and for the next 500 years it was the most significant cultural center of Arab and Islamic civilization and one of the greatest cities of the world. How did Iltutmish save India from the threat of a Mongol invasion? Once Mongol chief Chengiz Khan reached the borders of India in search of the Shah of Persia, who fled towards India to get shelter, but Iltutmish politely refused the Mongol chief to provide refuge, and in this way he saved the threat of Mongol invasion. What is the name of natural indicator? Natural indicator is a type of indicator that can be found naturally and can determine whether the substance is an acidic substance or a basic substance. Some examples of natural indicators are red cabbage, turmeric, grape juice and turnip skin, curry powder, cherries, beetroots, onion, tomato, etc. What is the pH of human blood? pH of human blood is 7.34 to 7.45. The pH scale ranges from 0, that is strongly acidic, to 14, strongly basic or alkaline. A pH of 7.0 in the middle of this scale is neutral. Blood is normally slightly basic with a normal pH range of about 7.35 to 7.45. Usually the body maintains the pH of blood close to 7.40. This is a picture of a renowned English university built by the Christian Church. Identify this university. Oxford University. The University of Oxford is a collegiate research university in Oxford, Oxfordshire, England. There is evidence of teaching as early as 1096 AD, making it the oldest university in the English-speaking world and the world's second oldest university in continuous operation. What does the term Crusades mean? How did the Crusades contribute to the revival of learning and pave the way for the Renaissance in Europe? Crusades were the holy wars of the Christians against the Turkish Muslims. In the course of their travels to the Holy Land, the Crusaders came in contact with the superior civilizations and cultures of the Greeks, Byzantium, and Muslims. They assimilated the best elements of these cultures and started the process of the revival of Western education and learning and paved the way for Renaissance. What was Shahnama in medieval period of Indian history? It is the biography of Sultan Muhammad of Ghazni. The Shahnama, Book of Kings, an epic poem composed by the poet Firdausi, dated 1020 AD. in Persian in the early 11th century, is the most popularly copied and circulated epic poem in Persian societies. In it, ancient history and myth mix and converge around themes of kingship and ethics. Who attacked India for 17 times. Muhammad of Ghazni. Muhammad succeeded his father, a warlord who had carved out an empire in Central Asia and had established his capital at Ghazni, south of Kabul, in 998 AD. At the age of 27, he launched aggressive expansionist campaigns and is said to have invaded India no less than 17 times between 1000 and 1025 AD. His campaigns invariably took place during hot summer season, and on each occasion Muhammad left India before the onset of the monsoon, which would have flooded the rivers of the Punjab and possibly trapped his troops. For how many years did the sultans of Delhi rule the country? 320 years. The Delhi Sultanate was an Islamic empire based in Delhi that stretched over large parts of the Indian subcontinent for 320 years, that is 1206 to 1526 AD. Why did Iltutmish nominate his daughter Raja Sultana as his successor? Iltutmish nominated his daughter Rajia as his successor because his sons were inexperienced, weak, and worthless rulers, and they spent all their time in fun and pleasure loving things, whereas Rajia was brave, intelligent, and just woman. She possessed all the qualities of a great monarch. Why is bleach bad? Bleach is very irritating and corrosive to the skin, lungs, and eyes. As well, it has been known to burn human tissues internally or externally. On top of this, it may cause skin rash, extreme headaches, migraines, muscle weakness, abdominal discomfort, esophageal perforation, nausea, and vomiting. Briefly discuss the conflict between the Vijayanagara and Bahmani kingdoms over the Raichur Doab. The Raichur Doab was a fertile area that touched the southern boundary of Bahmani kingdom and northern boundary of Vijayanagara Empire. This area became a battleground for both the kingdoms as each one wanted to rule over it because it was a rich source of revenue. It constantly passed on from one hand to another till finally the issue was finished after the defeat of Vijayanagar in the Battle of Tallikota. Discuss the reasons for the decline of the Roman Empire. The barbarian invasions penetrated deep into the Roman territory and plundered and ravaged it. Even the magnificent city of Rome was not spared. These tribes gradually settled down and assumed control of the western part of the Roman Empire, which led to its decline. Identify and name the painting. Describe the theme of this painting. The Last Supper. Leonardo da Vinci, a painting of Jesus with his disciples. The painting represents the scene of the Last Supper of Jesus with his apostles, and it is told in the Gospel of John. Leonardo has depicted the consternation that occurred among the 12 apostles when Jesus announced that one of them would betray him. Year 1490, Julian, artist Leonardo da Vinci. What is the pH of pure water? It is 7. The pH of pure water is 7. The negative logarithm of 1 into 10 minus 7. A neutral solution is 1 that is neither acidic nor basic. The hydrogen ion concentration equals the hydroxide ion concentration and both equal to 1 into 10 minus 7. Why is it called a square root? Why is it called the square root? Quite simply because it is the root of the square. Multiplying a number by itself gives you a square, or rather, constructing two sets of equal but perpendicular lines from a mutual point gives you a square. Who was Krishnadevaraya and why is he remembered? Krishnadevaraya, who ruled from AD 1509 to AD 1530, was the greatest and most important ruler of the Vijayanagara kingdom. He is remembered because during his reign the city of Vijayanagar was very prosperous. He marched across the Bahmani kingdom, which had broken into 5 different states. He also defeated the rulers of Bijapur and Orissa. He was a great administrator. He built temples and palaces. He was also a great scholar of Sanskrit and Telugu. He also patronized learned men. He was a shrewd statesman who is remembered for the glory he brought to Vijayanagara kingdom. The battles of Tarain laid the foundations of Turkish rule in North India. Do you agree? If so, why? Yes. 2 years after the Second Battle of Tarain, Muhammad attacked Kanus and killed Jayachandra. Ghori annexed the Indian territories to his empire and appointed Kutubuddin Aibak as his viceroy before returning to Ghor.